Hi there and welcome back to my channel. I hope you've all been keeping safe and well. Here in the UK we're in the middle of our second lockdown. To be honest, it's not that different to my usual life because I'm not really a socialising kind of person, so I just enjoy being at home and doing my own thing most of the time. So nothing really much has changed for me. So the footage for this video was actually from a couple of months back. It's just taken me a while to finish the drawings and edit the footage. I'm really not the fastest worker, and other life things come along and just slow things even more, so that's why I don't seem to do as many videos as I'd like to. I'd decided to do some insect sketches in my sketchbook with my coloured pencils. I really need to do more of these because they're fun to do and good drawing practice because I don't let myself use an eraser. The sketchbook that I'm using is by Stillman and Birn and it's from the Zeta series. I bought it during the summer and I've only used it once before this. The pages are 270 GSM, so they're nice and thick and they have a kind of silky smooth feel about them, and the coloured pencils just glide over the paper really lovely. So I decided that this sketchbook will be mainly used for my coloured pencils and sketches, and I'll probably use it for gouache too. I think it'll take gouache really nicely. Before I started drawing, I chose a handful of pencils so I would have a limited palette. I've always been really terrible at just throwing every colour I have at a painting or drawing, so ages ago I decided that it was something that I needed to be more aware of to start off with and stick to a limited colour palette, and I found that it really works for me. So anyway, I chose dark and light versions of blue, green, yellow and purple, and then I added some greys and a black. The colour choices were based on the first insect, and then I stuck to them for the rest of the insects. I ended up drawing 5 insects on this page, but when I came to edit the footage I realised it was quite epic. And I think it was almost 50 minutes or something, so I decided to make little videos of each insect instead. So it's going to be a 5-parter. The first insect that I'm drawing here is a grasshopper. It's the meadow grasshopper, and it's the only flightless grasshopper that we have in the UK. They grow to around 2 centimetres long, which is tiny, just a bit wider than the tip of your finger. They're mostly green, but the females can also be a pinkish purple. I really love grasshoppers. They're such beautiful little things, and if you look closely at them, they look like they're wearing like a kind of armour made of leather. They're really strange and interesting. I've only found about 3 grasshoppers ever, and they were all in my back garden. They just seem to like the long ornamental grasses that we have. If I'm ever out walking in the countryside and I hear them close by, I always look for them, but they usually stop making a noise when they hear you, so it's really difficult to find them, especially with them being so tiny as well. There was another thing that I wanted to talk about in this video, and it was about my fickleness or inconsistency with art mediums and styles. This is something that I've been thinking about for a good while now, and I've noticed it mainly on Instagram because that's where I follow other artists. I've been noticing that everyone has a medium that they stick to and a style, and they have consistency. And my Instagram account is not consistent whatsoever, and it's definitely not aesthetically pleasing with my different styles jammed into it. When I started out a few years ago, I was originally using pen and watercolour. I slowly moved away from the pen outlines as I got more confident with watercolour, and I just used watercolour alone. But if I do house portraits, which I sell on Etsy, then I usually always go back to the pen outline and the watercolour because I like that style. I remember when I done Inktober back in 2018 and I just painted London pubs and posted them on Instagram every day for a month. I got quite a few followers on there for doing that, and I thought to myself, once this challenge is over and I start drawing and painting other things, they're all going to be so disappointed and unfollow me because there's no way I can just draw and paint buildings forever. And I felt like there was some expectancy for me to carry on And I do like illustrating buildings, but I also like painting landscapes and nature things and whatever I feel like drawing or painting at the time. So then after the pen and watercolour, I started experimenting with acrylic paints, and using those kind of steered me to a completely different style. And the same happened when I started using gouache, and recently I've started exploring digital art, and the same thing happened again. I have a different style for those mediums. I really enjoy using each one of the mediums, and I enjoy the different styles that they bring out in me, but I feel like it can create a bit of a mess inside my head, and I'm constantly getting pulled in different directions. Especially when you read about how to be successful as an artist is all about consistency. It's something that's made me feel in the past like I don't fit in, and that I must be too much of an amateur or a fake, and I should just go away and come back when I've got more of a consistent style and when I've got more of a set medium that I use. I'm starting to accept that all these facets of different mediums and styles is just who I am. I'm inconsistent with my art, and that's okay. I'm sure there's other artists out there that can relate to me. I just don't want to be shoehorned into something that will eventually bore me, sticking to one medium or subject forever. It just isn't something that I'll ever be able to do. It's like choosing a favourite food and never eating anything else ever again. I do love my food so much, and one day my favourite food might be noodles, and then the day after that my favourite food might be apple crumble. And there's just no way that I could choose a favourite and just live off that for the rest of my life. It's just about fun and enjoying the process, whichever direction I decide to go in that day. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me draw this little grasshopper and listening to me rambling on. I'm going to be posting the next part of this video sometime next week. I think it's going to be a marmalade hoverfly is the next one. So let me know in the comments what you think of this grasshopper. If you enjoyed watching, please consider clicking the subscribe button to see future videos. I'll see you next week with the next video, and thanks for watching. Bye!